making us children, for you making us sons and daughters. We give it all to you, my King. I love Romans 8, Father, because it speaks on how we've been adopted into the family of the King. It explains how we become heirs of God. And all the promises, all the things that you have, Lord. How we become a part of it. And then we become joint heirs with Christ. All because of what you have done. And Father, that is the mystery I know you want us to be seeking. Everything it means to be joint heirs with our Savior Jesus. What it means to be heirs of the Father of glory. That we can stop focusing on things around us and things of this world to inherit those things, Father. But instead what we look to inherit, you. What you have said, what you have done, what you have promised. Let our hearts, let our minds, Father, be focused on the ways of your kingdom. That we can be separated from the things of this world. That our hearts may stay free from the bondage that this world brings. I ask you, Father, as we come before you this morning, that you speak expressively what you need your people to hear, my King. That our ears and our hearts are open. And that the word stays, Father. That it pierces, Lord. That we get revelation, understanding, and our hearts are set on fire for you, my King. Let us not be afraid or ashamed of you, Jesus. Bless us to have boastful hearts in you, because you have done it all. We have nothing to boast of ourselves. We only have to boast of you. Your Spirit reigns this morning. Your kingdom is forever. Your glory is our covering. So we'll walk in the Spirit and be led by the Spirit, that the world may see us as your children. Bless this morning, my King. In Yeshua's name, amen. Our Father is awesome. He is good. And He deserves every single bit of praise we have inside of us. Us coming out before Him to hear the word on Sunday mornings is a representation of praise and a sacrifice of saying, Lord, I want to get more. I thank you for what you have done. So, Father, I come to not only honor you, but I come so that I may be fed by you, my King. That's why it says that His word is our daily bread. What the Lord speaks to us is the things that feed our spirit. The thing that satisfies the longing soul. Because the scripture makes it simple. It says how the world has longing souls, and then sometimes you'll come into Christ, and because you're in a place still learning how to be totally satisfied in Him, your soul continues to long sometimes for things that it had beforehand, to try to find peace, to try to find joy. That was why you had it with the children of Israel. Even though they were slaves and they were being mistreated, they were being beaten by the Egyptians and tormented to the point they would work to death. They weren't being fed the best, and they were in prison. And even after God rescued them and saved them and took them through the Red Sea and led them through and removed their enemies out of the way. It said that after that happened and they got to the other side of the sea and all the enemies were destroyed, it said how they sang a new song. They gave them a new song of praise. And that's a representation many times of when you first come to Christ. Your heart is glad. The joy of the Lord is filled your spirit and you have a new song inside of you. But it said as the trials start coming, that as they walked in the wilderness, but yet still was being covered by the Lord, still was being fed by the Lord, still being provided for. It said their clothes did not get old, and their sandals did not fall apart, and they weren't having pains in their bodies. They start reminiscing on the old ways. Because they feel like, well, the things we had in the past, they were gratifying to our flesh. And they start letting the flesh lead them. And they start saying it'd be better if we were back as slaves again. And as the saints of God will read them stories, we'll be like, that's insane. How could they feel that way? Until the Holy Spirit shows you that we go through the same thing. That I brought you from sin. I brought you from death. I brought you from the enemy's grips. And I freed you. And how you will look for those things you were freed from to give you satisfaction. How you start searching for those things you did beforehand to fulfill you. How you have people of God who will start running back trying to get degree after degree after degree because they're trying to find something to fulfill them and make them have purpose in their life. Now I'm living for God, but I still got to find this relationship, or I got to find this marriage so the part of love that I need can be fulfilled. So I'll run and I'll grab someone even though I know they're not really running for Christ, because I want to be fulfilled in love. That I know the Lord is my provider, but I hear that. I hear it, I see what Scripture says, but what I knew before I came to Him is that I was my provider. So I have to be the one that set everything in place to make sure that I am provided for, because if I don't do it, it's not going to be done. So I do that. And now I put myself back under the bondage of being controlled by mammon, by money, by my job. Because if I don't have this, then I don't know what I'm going to have. And the Lord's saying, are you kidding me? And that's why Jesus goes back and said, don't you see how I take care of every little thing? How much more are you? Seek me. And it's the same thing that happened with the children of Israel when they start thinking back on those things and how it was. And they said, remember, we had this, we had that. And sometimes I love it because it shows how they even start kind of lying and exaggerating on the things they had. And like they feel like the life was good. And it's like, are you serious? You were being beaten, lick the whips on your back. Think about your children that were enslaved because of that. Think about what happened to your parents because they were living in that type of situation. And you're thinking about some of those ways to find life in them that brought nothing but death. But it shows what happens when we take our eyes off of the King. We take our eyes off of His kingdom and we start looking around us. That's why it was said in the Psalms, and even Solomon spoke of them in Proverbs, when he said, I look and it look like my enemies are prospering. He said, I look at my enemies and I feel like they're prospering. I'm looking at the money they're making. It seems like they're enjoying life. I see the vacations they're taking. I see these things, and it's funny because if you notice, everything has to do with how much you feel they have. From the material things and things that perish. That's the mindset of the slave mentality that the children of Israel had when they were in Egypt. And so David even spoke it and said it like, I feel like they're prospering. But I'm a servant for you, Lord, and I feel like that I'm not getting what they're getting. And God had to refocus him and say, you're missing the big picture. He says, sin may seem fun for a season, but woe unto the end of that. Look at what comes at the end of that. At the end of it all, we know, number one, you lose your soul. That's why Jesus says, what does it matter if you gain the whole world? Everything possible around you, this world says you should have, but then you lose your soul. You wasted life because life is like this. The Bible says, here for a season, then you're gone. That's why Peter said, how much more would you knowing this stuff perishes, but you knowing these things are going to be burned up? That you're here for a season as the grass, and you're going through this the next season. Should you not be holding on to the things around you? But it said you should be focused on my kingdom, because that is what lasts forever. It's eternal. But not only that, what happens is, you run into a lot of times younger children in Christ, teenagers, and they feel like, well, I feel like if you give your life to the Lord, and now adults, that life becomes empty. That's what Satan presents to them. And the reason why Satan presents that, because many times the people God they see are not living an abundant life they're supposed to be living. I ain't talking about the abundant life of the cars and houses. I'm talking about the abundant life with the joy and the peace of God reigning in your spirit. What a thing they want to always remember when they say, I remember this one time I ran into this person of God. And that was the first person I ran into, and I'm like, they got it. They got the answer. They know where it's at. Because not only did the radiance of God was shining on them, it was even in the confidence in the way they spoke of knowing the truth, that I knew they had the truth. And I love it how Jesus said it when he went before Pilate. And he told him, those who know truth, hear my voice. And Pilate's sitting there, and he's like, well, what is truth? And Jesus didn't give him anything else. And it's funny because you got there, you sit in the moment where Pilate is supposed to be the judge, judging Christ, and here it is, and Christ is judging him. And he said, those that know truth, hear my voice. Those that know truth, follow me. Because I am the way. I am the truth, and I am the life. And there's no other way to the Father except through me. So you have it, where the big thing in the world right now is people trying to obtain knowledge. Knowledge. They feel like, I got knowledge, and since I have knowledge, that is supposed to produce truth, and that is not the case. That's why Jesus said, he said, they're forever learning. He said they're forever learning, but they're never coming to the knowledge of the truth. You go in this, you're trying to find it in science. You go in there, you're trying to find it in all these different religions. And you're trying to find it, maybe I'm a God within myself, but the problem is I'm still dying every day. I can't stop myself from getting a headache, so that's kind of hard for me to believe. I have loved ones that die around me, and I can do nothing about it, so that God within me, me being a God, is kind of, I realize that's not it. So the world is searching for answers right now. And Jesus says, you are the truth. You have the truth. And the truth is me. Present me. Don't present yourself. You present me. You say, what if they don't believe? He said, because they are not called by me. Those who know truth and hear truth, follow me. Because they know it. They say, I know it. I just know he's the way. I can't explain it, but I know he's the way. And they come to me, he said, why did Jesus say? He said, because the Father has sent them to me. And then you still don't know what the Lord's going to do later with that person, so don't get discouraged. They seem like they fight. It seems like they don't want it. Do you remember somebody like Paul the Apostle? You remember those like they who seemed like they rejected, they didn't want anything to do with out killing Christians. He wrote the most books in the New Covenant. I remember praying to the Lord. I said, Lord, why was it? It seemed like it's funny because I love how the Lord does, because what you hear people say, and you hear especially in some denominations, they say Peter was the leader of the church. He said, well, that's kind of hard because Paul wrote 13 of the 26 books. Peter had like 3. And he said, yes, because people would misuse what I said to the disciples when I asked them, who do men say that I am? Because he's dealing with truth. This whole chapter is dealing with truth and how they viewed him. And we're going to read on that some. And how they viewed Christ. And how the disciples were viewing him. How the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the religious priests were viewing him. Then after all that, he said, what do men say about me? He already knew. This is a revelation for them. And so some say you're a prophet. Some say you're a teacher. Some say you're Elias resurrected. He said, what do you say? And Peter replied, you are the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And I love it because it said, flesh and blood did not reveal it to you. You did not get that from your own thoughts and, ooh, you just got it. He said, but it was my Father in heaven who gave it. So Peter, you can't give yourselves props for that. He said, on this rock I will build my church. And then what man did, because man always wants to give man props, they abused it and said, yes. So God was building his church on Peter. That is not what that's talking about. He's building his church on what he said. You are Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the Son of the living God. That is what my foundation is. Everything is built from there on out. So he wants us to understand the truth of everything is in him. It's all about Christ. So as the people of God, let us not be ashamed to present him. Let us not be ashamed to talk about him. They asked the Lord and said, Lord, give me knowledge, give me stories, give me parables to explain you to others of why they need you. Why you are the way. Why you are the truth. Why you are the life. Why you are like none other, Lord. Because it's called the gospel. The gospel means the good news. I'm bringing you good news. And it's funny because what the enemy does, what fear does, it makes you scared to bring good news. Why would I be afraid to tell you that, hey, guess what? This year for everybody who has one child in home, the government went back $20,000. And you got a child. That's good news. Why be ashamed and afraid to tell you that? If I tell you, you're like, I don't care, I don't want to hear that mess, I don't believe it. Okay. You said, well, all I know is I got my 20. You did? But you know what, that's a setup. They just trying to get our information so they can, okay. And I'll keep moving on to the next one. And the reason why you move on to the next person is because you care about others. You don't want them to receive the same benefit, the same blessing you have received by receiving Christ. That's why he says to know the truth of Christ and to hold it back, he said this weekend. Because you know people are perishing, heading towards destruction. You say, I'm sorry, I received mine, but I'm not going to say anything to you. He says, we are the watchmen. And so because we're the watchmen, we let others know. Amen. Christ is the way. Everything you've been talking about you're looking for, the sadness you're dealing with, the stuff you're trying to find in a relationship, the stuff you're trying to find in this money you're trying to make, it's in Christ, man. Life does not consist in an abundance of things. And do you ever use stories like Solomon, how he had everything? What was it, 1,000 wives, 100 concubines? Am I saying it right? 100 wives, 1,000 concubines? So he had everything he wanted. Money where he was able to build the temple and put gold in it. And at the end of it all, he said, everything I get and everything I consume from this world is vexation and vexation. The more I get, the more my spirit is vexed. He said, the more I get, the more my spirit is vexed. Why? Because the more I get, I realize there's less to get to fulfill my spirit, so the more it vexes it. The more I move in things that God has not told me to move in, it comes against my spirit and soul because these are things that are destroying my spirit and soul. He got all these women. He said, who can find a virtuous woman? What we give the answer to is that your answer is not in the woman or the man, it's in Christ. Because virtue is in Christ. So you're able to give the example of Solomon and say, man, he had it all. Look at what he says. Look at the wisdom he had. But yet when he moved away from being led by the Spirit of God, he went into foolishness. He started worshiping other gods, building temples to other gods. And his kingdom started falling apart. And then when he got back and he said, my blinds are starting to close. What do you mean my eyes are getting bad because I'm getting older now? He said, man, what is the whole point of it all at the end? To love God and keep his commandments. What is the point of it all in? To keep falling in love with Christ and to do what he says. And that's where, when I do that, I build my life on a strong foundation. That no matter when you get hit, because you will be hit, you will stand strong because you're standing in Christ. You're going to stand because you're standing in Christ. He said, you're going to get hit though. And that is something that in our culture, in our churches, that people are not hearing enough. You're going to be hit. But you got to know where to stand when you get hit. You see it too much when you got people of God who are being hit by situations and circumstances, and instead of running to Christ, they go the opposite way. And they said, where have you been? Well, things were rough, man. So, I mean, it's just, I've been just all that God's stuff. You're going the wrong way. You're opening the door for the enemy to come in and tear you apart through your mind, through your thoughts, destroying your faith. You start going back to old ways. I thought that she would be this way, but since that was, I'm doing all this, so now I'm back and I'm hitting this area. I'm watching certain things I shouldn't watch. I'm flirting with stuff on Facebook I shouldn't be flirting with. The Lord said, what are you doing? Get back in place. Get back in place for you to understand when these things come. This is when it's showing you need me because you don't have the strength to do it. So that's why the Lord says in Matthew 6:19 through 23. He says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust do destroy, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust can destroy it, corrupt it, and where thieves do not break through, nor can they steal it. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. He says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And I'll read this one from the Aramaic. It says, but the lamp of the body is the eye, verse 22. Therefore, if your eye shall be sound, your whole body will also be illuminated. But if your eye should be bad, your entire body will be darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great will be your darkness? See, right before this, Christ explained doing things we can be glorified by man. Doing things, and I love it because sometimes we think of just glorified by man, but remember, you're a man also. You do things so you could glory in yourself. And glorified by man. So what he's saying is, if your eyes, what do you mean by your eyes? Your mind. If your mind is focused on the wrong thing, it will throw you all the way off. That's why it says the eye is single. If it's sound, your whole body will be illuminated. So if my mind is focused on what Christ is saying, the way he says to do things, and what he says about me, what's coming next, what happens after, he said, then you will be illuminated because now you're walking in the power of the Spirit. With the Spirit of God leading you. With it being in charge and you let it lead you. Because now you've been illuminated by the light of Christ because your mind is sound, focused on what he says and what he says to do. He says, but if your focus is bad, if it's on the wrong things, he said your entire body will be darkness. If therefore your light that is in you is darkness, how great will their darkness be? So what he's saying is he's talking to the saints, those who already believe in him and those who don't believe in him. But at the same time, you get the understanding and say, okay, well, I understand now, Lord, that if my eyes are not on the right thing, of the way you say I should do life, the way you say I should live life, then it'll throw me all the way off. Because my mind is not focused on the right thing. So I get up in the morning, and it's time to go to work, and instead my mind is focused on the fact I'm mad I got to go to work. Your whole day is just thrown off. I get up and I gotta go and I see the children and they not ready for school again and I'm mad about it. I'm tired of y'all making me look. And so that throws off your whole day. I get to work and after I get to work, they have another meeting I want to go to and I'm mad about I gotta go into the meeting. Because when you do those things, you can't hear clearly from the Lord for direction. Because now instead your situation is predicting how you're going to be. So imagine how off you're going to be focused because everything that happens around you determines your peace, determines your mindset. So I get in this meeting, I got to go sit down, and what happens? Somebody sitting next to me I really don't care too much about talking to. And then they want to talk to me. Is now instead they can be sitting there and they can be talking about things in life they're dealing with, and the Lord can be giving you something to help them out. Instead, you think about, I just want to hit them. Oh, can they please get away from me and stop talking? And you miss it. Because why? Your mind is focused in the wrong area. And the Lord say, come on, the way you're thinking is the way of the world. Which we know He call it evil ways. I don't want you around me. And He says, is that your mindset? Is that the mindset we're supposed to have when Christ dealt with the lepers and all these sick people, the ones who were cast out? Matter of fact, if they found somebody who had leprosy walking around the clean people, they had the right to kill them, stone them, because why? It can spread. That's what I'm saying they're right, not by God. They had their right in the sense of their laws they set in place. So when Christ came, He came to get a right understanding. He saw somebody leprosy, oh my God. And Christ comes and He purposely touches him. Purposely touched him. To show that this doesn't bother me. This is the love You're supposed to have for those who are the ones that despise or reject it. I came for those who are sick. And this person wasn't spiritual sick, he was literally sick. He's out to come for those who feel like they have it all together. So most of the time that person irritates you the most, they're the ones who dealing with a lot of sickness, spiritual sickness. They're lost. They're blind. And the Lord said, now this is the one I need you to be kind to. But Lord, they seem to be, what is your focus? Is your focus the kingdom? Or your focus about how you want to feel about how you feel today? Your focus is off. So then the Lord says, we're understanding how we're supposed to be. And I love it because right now I know some of the women are not watching, it might be forced by their husbands. You got March Madness going on. And one of the things you're seeing with some of these games, you're having some of the top teams in the nation. And one team went down yesterday. And they're playing teams that are not supposed to be as good as them. And so what happened is game is going on. And some of these teams, when they come out to play these other teams who's supposed to be really about nothing, they don't come out focused. And the other team, since they feel like we're going to get somebody who's supposed to be a monster, they coming out super focused. They come out bombing, hitting everything on the court. And what happens, the game gets tight. And when the game gets tight, because what happens, they start focusing on the fact, oh my goodness, are we going to be the first number one seed to be put out? If you're number one seed, that means you were a top team in the nation. They got 1 through, I think, like 14, 15, something like that. You know, you were 14, 15, that means you're supposed to be horrible. So this is for college basketball. So they start focusing on, oh my goodness, are we going to be the first number one seed to go down? Man, we were projected to win a national championship. We just won it last year. Oh my goodness, look at the size of the crowd. What are they going to be saying about us on ESPN tomorrow if we lose? All the things that you're not supposed to be focused on. Why? Because there's a game before you. And then what happens is, you're worried about all these things in the middle of the battle. And what you see is you see people who sometimes are supposed to be good players and they don't even want to touch the ball. Why? Because I don't want to take a chance at blowing the game. You see it. Vince play the ball with me, they get the ball and throw it right back for good. All of a sudden you come down for the play, they offer the corner. So, well, really? You supposed to average 20 a game for us, and they offer the corner like, yeah, I don't want to touch because I don't want to mess up and be the reason of why we fail. So instead, why? His focus is on him failing. He doesn't have faith right now. So as I call you to do something, and I don't move in fear, I move in faith. But I'm focused on me failing, and this is not happening, so because of that, I don't move. What if it doesn't succeed, Lord? Your focus is off. So then what happens is you have it, and you have them get on the free throw line, and they're there, and you see them almost shaking the line. They're about to miss. And when they put up and they miss the first one, you see the fear just takes over. Because we're about to lose this game, and this is the last thing on the show, and it's going to be all my focus is not right. So our game the other day, not paying attention to what's going on around you. This team had to win. Up by 1 point. Other team gets the ball, they're up by 1. He turns and just grabs the guy. Commentators, they went crazy. What is he doing? They're about 1. Why were he grabbing? He wasn't focused. He said, I looked at the score and I thought we were down 1. He was so caught in the moment, he didn't see they were winning. And he went and grabbed another player from the team to give them the win. Intentional foul. And he was the star player on the team. Game ended, he looked sick. He just stood there and said, man, there's something he would never live down for the rest of his life. Because I was not focused on what was going on. I was focused on the moment, what it all meant. Then what happened, it got towards the end of the game, he wouldn't shoot the ball anymore. I said, this guy hit like 9 shots in a row. It got towards the end when it was real tight, instead of another guy shooting the ball all the time. I said, why is he not shooting? I said, oh, he's scared of the moment. And so what happens is, when you get in those moments, it's going to be fight or flight. You're going to fight to do what Christ says, or you're going to run from it. That's how it's going to be. You're going to fight and say, okay, Lord, you said in this moment, I should be praying. You say in this moment, Father, I should be speaking a kind word. You say in this moment, I need to forgive, Father. What are you going to do in those moments? He said, because what you do in those moments is going to show my glory living through you, or it's going to show fear living through you. That's why I say it's faith versus fear. That's why he says, I have not given you the spirit of fear. So when I'm dealing with fear, he said, that's not of me. That is not from me. He said, maybe the Lord give me, they said, no, the Lord said, that's not from me. I give you wisdom, though. But when it comes to that fear of me being afraid of people, afraid what the Lord calls me to do, me being afraid to give things up, the Lord said, give up. He said, that's not of me. That's not from me. But my spirit, big S, it gives you power. It gives you love. It gives you a sound mind. You're going to understand what you should do, where you should go, and understand I'm with you everywhere you go, and then one thing is going to move you with love. I got a couple examples this morning so we can get this focus thing. And with this situation, it was something I was involved in. It was, she heard the story probably 1,000 times. It was back in high school, and it was a game we were supposed to play to get to the sectional championship game. The team we played them a week before that, before the sectional started. We beat them by 55 points. Pretty much, I didn't play the whole second half. Coach took me out. You can rest. Tournament next week. I don't want to take a chance you get hurt. They were our last game of the season. We beat them by 55 points. So then we come into the game, and of course, we weren't focused.